this is the opportunity to get into a home with very little out of pocket.
This is the best loan available right now.
Who's eligible to receive one? Can you receive more than one? What are the main benefits? How can that benefit someone like me who's not a veteran?
That saves a lot of money. You can actually get into the home for zero money out of pocket.
If you're a veteran, did you know that you can buy a house with $0 out of pocket? Find out how. Today we're talking all about VA loans, and I have with me Jeff Dynack with Family Tree Mortgage. I'm so excited to have you today. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So a VA loan has great benefits. You say that this is what kind of loan? Like the best?
I say this is the best loan available right now.
That's right. So if you are a veteran, the VA loan is the best loan to get. So today we're going to go into details about what all it has to offer. If you want to learn more, stay tuned. By the way, I'm Dana Pollard, a real estate agent in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. And if you're looking at buying a home, fill out the appropriate questionnaire in the link below. So Jeff, tell us a little bit, what is a VA loan?
Okay, Dana, a VA loan is a government loan that's backed by the Department of Veterans Affairs. And the main purpose of the department is to protect lenders in case of default.
Who's eligible to receive one?
Any active duty military member is eligible to receive a VA loan. Any veteran that was honorably discharged is eligible to receive a VA loan. And any reservist or National Guard personnel that have served at least 6 years in the Guard and was never called up to active duty. That's
okay.
important though, because if they were called up for a minimum of 90 days during what's designated as wartime by executive orders, or 180 days outside of that, for any time during those 6 years or any time in their Guard or the Reserve, then they're considered active duty and they are eligible. Or
Okay.
if they only served 3 years in the Guard but were called up, they're still eligible.
Okay.
So that's a big part.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you receive more than one?
You can use your VA entitlement multiple times. Your entitlement is what you have when you get out of the military, and that's what they say it's $144,000, but right now there's no loan limits as long as you have full entitlement up to whatever the lender will lend. And that is important because we can get up to $2 million with no down payment. But as long as you have paid off your previous VA loan, you can get another loan. And if you pay that one off, you can get another loan. So you can use your VA as many times as you would like. People think, oh, I've been saving it, I ask them, have you ever used your VA? And they're like, no, I've been saving it. You don't have to save it.
Oh, that's good news.
You can use it. If you sell that home, then you can use it again.
Okay.
The only difference is the funding fee goes up for each subsequent use. It goes up from 2.15 to 3.3, stops there.
All right, Jeff, tell us what are the main benefits of a VA loan?
The main benefit to the VA loan is when you're purchasing a home, you don't have to put any money down. That is huge. That saves a lot of money. Another benefit is there's no monthly mortgage insurance. They do have what's called an upfront funding fee. It's financed into the loan. And again, that varies if you are first-time use, it's 2.15% of the sales price. And if you've used it prior, it's 3.3%. However, if you are receiving any disability whatsoever from the VA, you do not pay a funding fee. It can be 10% and you still won't have to pay a funding fee. And another benefit, in Texas, you do not have to pay any property taxes if you are receiving 100% disability from the VA. And if you know anything about Texas, that can be a large chunk of money.
Yeah, this is a big deal, and I've had clients that were 100% disabled and they paid zero in property taxes. And so if you're looking at retiring in Texas and you're a veteran, score.
Right. And if you are getting less than 100%, they will give you some exemption. I do not know how that's broken out. It's prorated depending on the percentage of disability you're receiving. But at 100%, zero property taxes in the state of Texas. I just closed one last month. Oh, and the last thing about the VA loan is they are assumable, which means that if somebody has a VA loan at 2.5%, you can go in and assume that loan and get their interest rate. If you're selling your home and you're a veteran and you have a low rate, it helps you sell it because you can offer that to another person. Say you can assume my $400,000 remaining balance at my interest rate. The person assuming it has to come up with the difference between the sales price and however much that is left on that VA loan. But it does help out, and it does help sellers move properties quickly.
So we just had a listing come up that they're willing to assume the loan. The man is 95 years old. So how can that benefit someone like me who's not a veteran? Like if I wanted to assume this loan, what would that look like?
You don't have to be a veteran to assume a VA loan. You just have to go in, you have to qualify on your own merits for whatever's remaining on the balance under whatever loan program, under, I guess, the VA loan program. And then if there's additional funds between the sales price and whatever he owes, you have to come up with that money out of your own pocket or go get what we call a home equity line of credit to cover the difference.
So if you're going to assume the VA loan, it has to be your primary residence, correct?
Right, you're going to inhabit that home that you're assuming the loan on as your primary residence.
All right, Jeff, tell us a little bit about the upfront costs of a VA loan.
Well, again, VA loans have very little upfront cost. There's no down payment, which is a huge upfront cost. There's no funding fee if you're if you're getting any disability at all. So there's no funding fee that's rolled in.
If we want to roll in closing costs, can we do that with this loan?
That is a great question, and this is one of the only loans you can technically roll the closing cost in. And the way that works, and I'll keep it simple numbers, if you have a seller that's selling a home for $100,000 and a person wants to go in that's a veteran and buy that home and have the closing costs rolled in, then the agent would go in and ask for a $102,000 sales price and have the seller give a $2,000 concession to the buyer for closing costs. The seller's still netting his $100,000 and the buyer's getting the benefit of the closing costs, so he doesn't have to come up with it out of his pocket, which is huge. The only caveat to that is that the home needs to appraise for however much the sales price is.
Yes.
If not, then things get renegotiated, but that helps the buyer get into the home. Technically, he is rolling in the closing costs and financing him over the term of the loan.
Yes.
But he doesn't have to come with it out of pocket.
Yes. And we are back in that market where many homes we can do that. So we did that back in the day all the time. All the time. And we could not do this last year. And so I know that there's been a market shift and all that kind of stuff, but this is the opportunity to get into a home with very little out of pocket if you are a veteran.
A lot of people don't know this. If those closing costs are rolled into the loan and the veteran put $2,000 in earnest money up front and the closing costs are less than what was rolled into the loan, they can actually get money back
to them.
Yeah.
So it's still possible.
It is still possible. You can actually get into the home for zero money out of pocket.
Yes.